Hello and welcome to Sunday Night Live, week 2 sculpting. I crazily decided we'd do a grey seal today, which is so daft because I've never sculpted one before. And I'm looking at it thinking, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I'm thinking, but they're just water dogs, aren't they? And I sculpt dogs all day long, so it can't be that hard. But I'm slightly nervous today. I have to say the fox was cool. I've sculpted a million of those. This guy, I've not done at all. So my heart is going. And also, I tried to do one of my live classes on Monday, just one of the live sculpts, and my Wi-Fi completely binned off, and nobody could see or hear me, and so we've got a Wi-Fi booster now, which is sat down there, and I keep looking at it and scowling at it, and saying, for goodness sake, just work, just don't mess it up. So between picking an animal that I've never done before and having massive Wi-Fi issues earlier in the week, I'm nervous to say the least. So if I just get that out there, then whatever happens, you'll know that it's this is what it is tonight, and we'll see what happens. So I will just give it a few more seconds for everyone to say hello, and then I will get going. So I've got I've got Debs, I've got Serena, I've got Nikki. Wow, you're all going on. I've got Linda, I've got Sarah, Kimberly, a few that have gone to the top of the screen. Sorry, missed that bit. Yes. I don't know why it would have an echo. I've got no echo going on here. I've got no sound coming through anywhere. There shouldn't be.
I don't know why it would have an echo. I've got no echo going on here.
Turn the sound off on the laptop. Hi, Jane. I haven't got any sound on my laptop. There is no sound on my laptop at all. I've turned it all off, and there is no sound on my phone either, because I've turned that off as well. I'm tempted not to muck about with it, because we're really struggling at the moment with the end of our contract coming.
We're really struggling with the end of our
Hubby reckons that they're messing around with our Wi-Fi. No, that.
So I don't really want to mess around with it tonight, guys. Because I did this before, and then it all went weird. So I'm just going to get on, and I'm going to hope that it works, because I'm slightly out of options at this point with it all. Leopard print dress on tonight. Right. Okay, so this is our grey seal. Coming in, stage left. There. God, that was slow, wasn't it? Right, so this is the guy we're going to try and create. I've also printed out this one because it's just going to help me a little bit figure out what's going on with the tails, okay? They are funny, aren't they? Look how fat they are. I mean, I'm like, no offense, seals, but seriously, they're like, we're not too much of a worry in shape there, have we? We're not too much of a worry in shape. We basically just cover and then we can get it on. Get it going on. All right, so here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand up and work over there. That's throwing me again. So we're all right with the sound, are we? God, I really need this to work, guys, because I can't do anything. Hey, that picture's not rude. That's a mummy and a baby. Surely that's a mummy and a baby. That's a mummy and a baby. Come on. Right, all right, should we just do this? Before the internet gods give up on me again. So I've got a 10-inch square here and a big knife. And I'm going to do something with it. Why did I pick this? Holy hell. Right, okay, so what I'm trying to make sure is whatever shape I cut, I need enough space up here, okay? I need to try and cut a body. His head's going over here. Come around. And we'll just cut in. I don't know how this is going to work, guys, so we'll just see. If the internet plays it. So just cutting a slightly rectangular, cutting from corner to corner because I want the longest length I can get out of my 10-inch. I've pre-buttercreamed this, guys, just to save myself a bit of time. And then I'm going to use this here for his head. Now, with our guy here, she's lying on her side, which again makes life really complicated than it needs to be. But I quite like that side pose. That's why I chose it. So we are doing a sideways seal here. So she's lying on her side, which is why you've got one paw. Is it a paw or a fin on a seal? I don't know. That thing's at the top and then one at the bottom. Okay. So we're going to use this for a head, but we'll just leave that down there for a minute. No binning it, no eating it. Okay. And we're just going to round off our corners. From a sculpt point of view, this is dead easy. We're just rounding her off, aren't we? Trying to work around your phone is just something else. So I'm just rounding off the edges. Well, try not to lose a hand in the way in the process. Okay, then I'm going to round over the top because I don't want a really flat top. She's sideways on, sort of a little flat. And she's got this big belly coming here. And then her head is going to come here. So let's cut something flat to work on for her head. The bodies. Just okay, so let's look at that squid. Hey, look, Deb says seals have paws and sea lions have flippers. There you go. So head. I'm just gonna. I can't push. So head shape, round it at the back, going back round this side. So there's the end. I'm just going to round the back of the head up. And then I need to make this muzzle at the front. I have to add a bit. So hang on a second. Let's cut off nose. Get into your other, try the other corner. The nose piece. 2 seconds. Just going to move her that way so that I've got a bit more room for this nose. So carving down a bit like you would your dog. Bringing that nose shape in. So I only had to do that because she's so wide in her middle bit that I haven't got enough room to cut any more. But that's okay, we'll forgive her. She's hanging around in the freezing cold, huh? Okay, so that's the shape I'm looking for. I'm going to just bring it in a little bit at the end here. I feel like her body brown. So towards her tail. So let's just give her a little bit of shaping around here. And that way we've got a bit of room to sort out. I've got a little bit of a gap here, but I'm not going to bother about that. I'll just fill it. All right. So that's head shape, body shape. Done. I'm just going to move all this cake, extra cake out of the way now. And we will just tidy it up. But just one more thing, I need to do my undercut. At the moment, she's just ending flat to the board. And there's no way a seal is going to end flat to the board. All that flubber will curve under. Right, let's just get this cleared away. Oh, we're still talking on the paws and the claws thing. That's cool. So I'm going to buttercream. Don't need ganache on this one. Just throwing the cake over here. Just having a final look at it before I put the anything on it. Check that I'm happy. I'm just going to move her head that way a little bit and bring in. It's not really a neck. I wouldn't call it too much of a neck, but let's just give her. She's got a bit of a shaping in here rather than it being solid to there. So let's do that. Right, buttercream. Buttercream on. Obviously, buttercream to my head. I did it earlier, so I didn't need to do that. But obviously, if you're doing this, you will. And then just give it a quick over. Sarah or Sarah is saying hello from Portugal. Hello. You have to bear with me on these. They're not my normal. They're not my normal professional self. What the heck? I don't do professional. But they're just a bit of fun. And actually, seeing how many people sculpted foxes after last week, wow, what a cool thing! I didn't really anticipate that people were going to go out and do them. But how great is that? What a great way to use this time that we've got to improve our skills and make cake for nice people, which is obviously the other upside of all this. Just have to give me 2 minutes to get buttercream. So keep remembering that she's on her side. So although her face is forward, her body is side on, which is why she's that little bit flatter. If we were doing her lying on her front, she'd have a much rounder shape here. Just making sure I've still got my gap there. Speed buttercream. Just give it a second. Right, tiny bit more buttercream around here. So this bit's where her tail's going to go. So that's why I've left a little gap at the end of the board there. All right, that'll do. Just put a bit around her head. Ooh. Does she look like a seal yet? Okay, now, interestingly, we obviously have quite sunken eye sockets with this girl. She hasn't got too much sticking out, so this is going to get a bit serious. I see a hippopotamus. Yes. We did a hippo last year. If you want to, guys, if you want to see more of my page, if you have a look in videos, there are at least 8 from last year, last lock-in. So you can have a troll through those. So, hello Mandy. Where's, how do you pronounce that? Brighouse. Where's Brighouse? What I'm going to do is just bulk out some features a little bit, but I can't go too much on this because actually if you look at a picture, she hasn't got pronounced eye sockets, but we need something to help us out a little bit. So I'm going to put some in, but I need to keep them quite flat to the head, or else this is not going to work. So let's pop it in. Again there. Do the same on the other side. Just going to move it ahead a little bit. I just want to make sure that these don't stick. It's not going to work at all. Right, and then they've got a funny shaped nose. And say I've not sculpted these before, so I'm totally making it up as I go along. It's totally the best way to do public lives. Make it up as you go along. Mind you, it works for Carol, doesn't it? They always make it up as they go along. So. Very funny faces. And then they've got this strange nose that goes over the top of the whole thing, which I think is the bit that makes them look sealy. So fingers crossed, if I do this, then when we cover it, we'll see something sealy. Right, I'm just going to add a little bit of width to her face. I feel like it just disappears a bit too much here, so let's just add a width here. And the same on the other side. Just kind of sort these. She's got a really wide gap between her eyes. I'm just trying to get that gap in. Okay, so I've just completely changed my mind about how I do this. Let's pop on a paw shape now, and then we'll cover it and bring it back out. I think that's the best way, because otherwise, because these are smooth animals, if you put a paw on, you then have to try and blend it in. I know when they're not smooth animals, but so I've got a big chunk here. I'm going to act as a paw. I haven't got a good what we're doing. So, and a one-eye sculpt we can't anyway. But I think I think 3 toes. So let's have a go. So it is up on this front edge here. Okay, so that's going to sit there. I know it seems a bit weird doing that, but trust me. And then we'll pop in the one underneath as well. So the one underneath is under, so we really don't see much of it. just enough in like that. I'm just going to pop in. If you look at the photo, you'll see she's got a couple of neck wrinkles, like the best of us. Jane, I wouldn't trust me. Oh, did I say trust me? I said trust me. God. Popping up on the neck wrinkles. Also, it feels, if you ended up with a little gap there, like I did, it fills up quite nicely as well. Happy days. We'll pop on the tail afterwards. Okay, cool. Have we got a seal yet? Jan, don't even think it. Don't even speak it. Don't even dare to comment on the Wi-Fi. God, having a fight with my sugar paste. Okay, right. Let's get this covered. Because really, the only reason I wanted to, oh God, the only reason I wanted to do this is because the airbrushing is fun. So let's get her covered. She's coming alive. Soon, soon, soon. Remember, guys, these are just 1 hour fast sculpts. These are not designed to be proper tutorials. The proper tutorials take like 4 or 5 hours, and I do them properly and I teach them properly. So these are just a bit of fun to hopefully inspire you and to get you, instead of sitting on your sofas and dwelling, to get you off your backsides and creating cool stuff. It's very much build it and they will come. If you want clients to order cool things, the reason I'm doing down here is because I've got my icing sugar down here, not because I'm being mental. Well, I am. Okay, if you want to sell cool things, you have to make cool things. People will not buy what they can't see. All right, let's get this rolled. I'm going to try and cover this entire beastie in one go. Now, most people who know my work when I do the head separate to the body. But one, I haven't got time. And two, smooth animal. Joining is complicated. So let's give it a go. What is the worst that can happen? Jan, don't answer that about what's the worst that can happen. I've also got no room, so I've got everything on the table at once. So I'm trying to find a bit of room to roll this out. Is it long enough? What do you reckon? Quite long with the head on, so it's across a 16 inch, so it's got to be 18 inches. Now I'm rolling cake crumbs into my sugar paste. That's excellent news. Right, it's going on. It's going over. I'm not brave enough. I don't think it's long enough. No, she's cut from a 10-inch cake. And now I've got to get this around the camera. Just hang on a second. Ready? Yay! Okay. Put those there. So yeah, she's cut from a 10-inch cake, but it's across the diagonal. So I've got a sugar paste question. So you need soft, slow drying sugar paste. There's no point trying to do this with really fancy sugar paste like Matter, or anything that's going to be really tough and fast drying, because you won't have any time to do the work that you need to do. So you want a brand, I almost said a breed, God, animals on the brain. Let's get a brand that is going to be soft and it's going to dry slowly. So most of your supermarkets will do that. And I say, when I've been working with Carol a lot recently, she's up at Sugar and Crumbs. They use, they've got loads of different brands, and I've been playing around with different ones to see what's working. And the one that I like is Select Island. It's really soft and it's really slow drying. So we need to get these, so we've got these wrinkles coming in, and we need to get this sorted out here. So this is the pore flipper, whatever we decided it was called. And by putting it underneath, it just means it's going to sit there nicely and sit on top. Rather than us having to do a blend, it will automatically. And then we can work it out. Just trying to follow my reference picture. And then we've got the other one, her body. So we do have to try and work out this. Normally, if it was a very, very highly textured animal, I wouldn't be too worried. But obviously with this lady, so I'm going to leave that on there because it will become part of the tail. Make sure I've got all the way around. Now, so by putting the fin underneath, we've got a nice join. We can just come in here with our hands and push it in and under so that we get that separation. Oh, lost my balance. Right, okay, let me just get this sugar paste off. I don't need to cut it too close yet. I just want to get enough of it off that it's not getting in the way. Okay, right. I'll try and push it so you can see your face a bit better. Again, I'm not too keen to muck about with it too much. So let's see. Just a second. Let me just push it back. Just a second, hopefully. All right, that's as far around as I'm going. Well, you'll have to be okay with that. Okay. So let's just get her face quickly worked up. What time is it? 26 minutes past. Got my picture. Get cut off it. We got big eyes. Okay, so pulling that nose down. I'm going to use my big ball tool. I think it's quite a soft line, isn't it? Funny looking things, really. I presume they have this long bit here so that they can close their nostrils. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So let's put one there, one nostril there. And then they have lots and lots and lots of whisker bumps. Obviously, if you've got time, it'll take a lot longer on this. Okay, so big ball tool, just to come in on these wrinkles. put these lines back in. So there's a belly chest coming up, which I think is quite nice now. Okay, so just gonna cut in, cut round, put her tail on, and get airbrushing. There's so much more I could do on her face. Just do it on. Bits in there because they're ever so cute. Round. Had the world's fastest tail. Sorry, hit the ball, hit the phone. Let's come round. So adding the tail. This is what I wanted the other photo for. Because I don't know what a seal tail looks like. You? I'm just bringing in that. I can't see it coming out. Come on, camera. Just trying to show you the tail side of it. So, dead quick. Split down the middle. Luckily, everything's chunky seal. So we don't have to worry too much about finesse, which I quite like. Now, if she's lying on her side, these two are going to lie on top of each other. So let's put those lines in. And to bring them, I wonder if I can get them underneath. Might be able to. Oh, it's going to pop the board. Let me shove it up there and you can see. Come on, gang. Let me just have a look at what it's doing at this end. Let's see what I can do here. Doesn't want to be turning around, does it? All right, tail. Okay. So making sure I've got enough lines going on in here. You guys just chattering to yourself, right? Nothing else. Okay, let's get airbrushing. Whoa, I've made myself all hot bothered. All right, so flattish fins. Yeah, so they've got the flattish fins at the back. Same as the front, really. I think they've got claws, if I'm honest. I can kind of see them in the picture, but I can't see them well enough to do. And with this time, it is what it is. So I put them on. Right, now here's the fun bit. Let's do this. I'm going to put them. I'm convinced they've got ears, one here and one here, but I think they're just holes. So I'm just going to pop in those two. Okay, now we've done the face. I'm going to you have to bear with me. I'm going to bring this back up again because you can't see the whole thing. Hopefully it will tolerate it. There you go. I don't want it to be too chunky. I'm just thinning it out a bit. Okay, so there we go. Airbrushing. So we want to make this a mottled grey. So we want areas that are lighter and areas that are darker. And the easiest way to create areas that are lighter on an airbrush is to block them off. So if I want to block off an area, and I don't want it to be got by the airbrush, if I just put chunks of sugar paste on, I know it feels a bit weird doing this, but you have to bear with me. The airbrush can't get to them. So looking at my picture, I'm just going to put a chunk there, a chunk there. Then we've got quite a lot of mottling greys things going on, but we've got chunks on the fins. Chunks, they're not white at all, they're kind of like a sandy brown. A couple of lighter chunks here. So, and then we need to airbrush grey. So to airbrush grey, you need to use black. But black has an awful habit of shifting or purple, depending on what you're doing with it. So I use two different blacks. I've got a chroma black, the one I want to go jet black or really, really dark, and I've got a sugar flare black, which is very good at grey, but not very good at a really strong black. Between the two shades. So if I airbrush it now, I've got the sugar flare black in, grey, and then I will go back and I will airbrush some of the grey shades darker. So I'm just going to do that now. And let's hope with the airbrush and we get this to work. Much less strong black. It's not as strong, and therefore it holds its grey much better. So I'm going to just do an even grey, and then I'm going to go back in because I know that those areas that I've covered are being protected. They're not going to be airbrush. They're going to just come back white. So I'm not going across that evenly. I'm trying to sort of do some areas darker and some areas lighter. But I do want a decent grey, and then I'll go darker and darker on some of the areas. So I'm in control of the airbrush. It's not in control of me. If it's going too fast, I can just take my thumb off the trigger and everything stops. If it's looking too shiny and too wet, you need to be moving your turntable around. You can't airbrush the same area for too long. You have to move it. Move it, move it. Okay, so now I've got kind of an all over grey. I can go back in Now, I can do this on the other black if I want. If I want to really, really darken up, I can go in on the other black. But this is enough. So I'm just hitting spots, trying to bring out those darker bits. Nice little bit of dancing around with the airbrush. Depends on your airbrush as to how detailed you want to get your on you. And back in and just around his nose, add some shading. And if I want to, I can go into his eyes. I can dust that. But on a 1-hour sculpt, it's not that easy. And his ears. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dump out the rest of that. Dump out the rest of this grey, and I want to put a little bit of brown in. So, hi Sabrina. What are you guys nattering about? What's coming in a couple of weeks? God, I miss everything. So I'm just going to clean out the black, and I'm going to throw in a little one, a crema brown, because it's a nice kind of yellow-based brown. I find some of the other browns can be really red base, and you get it's too brick-like. But have a play around. So what I'm going to do now is take those bits that I've protected. Don't throw those away though, because they'd be useful in a minute. Right, and now I'm going to start edging a little bit with a bit of brown. Okay, so we put a little bit of brown in. Right, and then we're going to go black, dip back, tip the brown out, go back on your black, and in the edges where you've got those lighter areas. Because now it looks like you go back on your black, and you're going to go in some of those edges, and you will see that you start getting that really nice mottling, different patterns, different shades between the two areas. The darker bits will keep getting darker, your lighter bits stay lighter. Start building up that really nice pattern. And it works white, which means no matter what you do around them, because as you're airbrushing, you're hitting the light bits, but you're also going back over your dark bits, which will just progressively get darker. Cute, isn't it? Airbrushing, you need to sort it out. This is honestly the most fun you'll ever have. And that fear will only last for your first take, and then it's gone forever. So if anybody's watching is still, you know, oh, I can't do an airbrush, just, I promise you, the fear you're feeling will be gone in about 10 seconds flat, and the joy will last you forever. Look at that. The only slight problem with it is that it's really hard to stop, because it's so fun. All right, so there you go. You've got the lighter areas and you've got the darker areas going on. Woo. Right. Now, these bits. Can't see this one. If you mash them up, I'll show you this one. If you mash them up and roll them, that airbrushing sort of becomes ombre. Oh, I just hit the camera, sorry. The airbrushing becomes ombre. And what it does, it makes absolutely fantastic stones. We're on about the pink board and the grey ones. I know everyone was petitioning for grey boards. So I'm just now not wasting the ones I made to block off the colour. I'm turning them into beautiful boards. Okay. That was fun. Okay, so now we just have to put in the bigger eyes. A minute. Just going to finish. I've got time, would you believe? I've got 15 minutes. Crazy. Yeah. Put one there. And one there. Right. Woo! Hot. Okay, what we're doing, eyes. Dead simple. With this guy, I'm just going to do the big black, beautiful, simple eyes. You, as I say, you can get a lot fancier. So, oh, slightly glowing. So we need a little bit of water. Now, normally you would do this when it's dry. Okay, doing this straight after fresh airbrush is asking for major trouble. But then trying to sculpt stuff in an hour is asking for major trouble. So I'm going to get some black dust and just make sure that where if I didn't airbrush, then make sure I've got those sockets nice and dark. If you look at your seal, that's half the reason they're so cute, is because they've got this great big dark eyes. I'm just going to deepen them a little bit so that I've got space to put in. Oh, sticky airbrush too. And I'm just going to put in nice, big, soulful, dark eyes. So you want to make sure your eyes, so I move this camera again, I'm going to risk it, try and get it lower again, hang on. Ooh. Oh, it's so high risk. Is that better? Okay. You want to make sure your eyes sit inside these eye sockets, okay? But give it big eyes. I mean, you know, seals do have enormous eyes. Biologically, we know why, don't they? Because they hang out underwater where it's really dark. You will find that all animals are completely perfectly suited to their environment. And if you can work out that bit, then you can help yourself figure out why, whatever, long tails or whatever. So it does help to think about the biology. Normally I wouldn't do eyes this big, but I think a seal can make it. What do you reckon? So I'm just going to paint them black. I am, if I can kind of. No, it's hiding. How is it? 48. So paint them completely black. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to leave a tiny little white edge around it. It must be so. So do the same on the other side. So what I want to do is, I'm going to put a couple of highlights in, but I'm going to put them in white sugar paste because there's no way my white's going to pick up on that black. So if I just do one there, I'm going to show you. Same on the other. Okay, onto my dust, and I'm just going to dust in a little bit. Again, it's a slightly high risk having just done the airbrush. I'm going to dust in around her nose. So I've got my brown dust and my black dust. And I just want to shade in around her nose a bit. There, so many cameras and wires here. I can't get to it. Okay. Now, if you go in with dusts, you can again add to your mottling. So your dust will continue to add layers of mottling, and it works better to do it with dust because it fits in with the airbrush. You know, it stays nice and soft. You try and hand paint this stuff, you're going to get in trouble quite quickly. So use your dusts if you've got time. If you're doing it as a proper commission, get in with your dusts and start working in on this mottling. Because that's what will bring it to life. Getting in the ears. Okay, so let's just go back out wide again, and I'll show you a couple more things. High risk, high risk. So there's two more things I want to show you. One being how to make it shiny. Wait a second. Oh, collapse. So this is the stuff I use to make it shiny. It's peony spray glaze. I couldn't get this stuff anywhere. Everywhere seems to be out of stock, and I've tried to find it a couple of times before in the last sort of 2 months, and everywhere's been out of stock. So I don't know if there's a problem. Eventually I found it, but I had to buy 6 40 quid worth just to show you guys how to. So if anyone needs any spray glaze, I've got 6 cans of this stuff. So give it a good shake. You want to do this out. Not that I'm faffing at all. You want to do this outside or on several sheets of paper because it goes everywhere. You'll spray glaze your table, you'll spray glaze your phone, you'll spray glaze everything. So I'm not listening to my own words, but I am warning you guys. Okay. The good thing about this is it won't muck up your airbrush. So I find if you use this on, if you use like any of the corn syrups and stuff, then your airbrush, whereas this stuff won't. So that's now all shot. Now again, normally do it once it's wet. No, talking rubbish. Normally do it when it's dry. Okay, but doing it when it's wet is a bit crazy. But there we go. I haven't really got time. So I'm just trying to find a slightly better angle because it looks really cool and the camera angle is not quite picking it up. Okay, so one last thing, and I have it in my picture. Woo! This is a bag of rich tea biscuits. I'll show you them. Rich tea biscuits. If you look at the picture that I originally had, you'll see that she's hanging out on sand, although she still works. So she's obviously recently onto this. So I use this. Rich tea biscuits because they're lighter than digestive biscuits. I think they look more sound-like than digestive biscuits. So I'm going to finish this tea biscuits around her. And now you can see why I bothered doing those stones. That finishes the whole thing rather nicely. I think this is quite a good design. It's incredibly cute because they are incredibly cute. Right, I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. Because on my picture, she's got sand pretty much all over her. So, but again, it doesn't. It's fairly user-friendly, but you can see how you can pretty much get it. I'm just working it on. She's very cute, isn't she? She's slightly cuter than I normally do stuff. But there we go. So I say 1 hour, start to finish. Started as a 10-inch square. Wouldn't go any smaller than that because you can't get the head on. And ends up as a I think I made. Woo! Right, that's it. With 5 minutes to spare. Check it out. Hang on, let me just try and get a better. She's so long. I can't get her on the whole thing. I'll put a photo up. Oh, I'm sweating. Yeah. Right. My seal. The mess everywhere. Okay. We've got any questions? Did I have questions? Did anyone want to ask me anything really quickly before I go and have my tea? So now we've got the internet back. We are back on Labrador sculpting tomorrow and elephant sculpting tomorrow. So those of you who are on those classes, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And if anyone's got any ideas for next week, I've had a request for a rabbit, which I'll have to look at and see how difficult they are. She's very cute, isn't she? She's very, very cute. Missed how you did the round eyes, it says. So I made. So you build your holes in before first, and then I literally, did I not do it on the screen? Could you not see it? Sorry. It goes so fast. I literally just build balls. Wait for it to come in. Nice. And then fit them in. I say now normally I make them quite small, and I'm quite careful with them, but the seals have got big beautiful eyes, so I think we can get away with it. Deb says she gets our seal of approval. Deb, don't give up your day job. Yeah, she's a bit cute, but not bad for an hour. Right, it is 9 o'clock. To name, you can name her. No, so Viva said no, the black round outer edge of the eye. So that was just dust. So when you get into doing your eyes, you need to get your black dust out. I've got mine are all rainbow dusts. Is that coming in? There we go. So rainbow dust black and rainbow dust brown, and I make a mix of two. I don't ever use straight black dust because it would look weird and it's too dark. So a mix of brown and black, and I go soft paintbrush and I work into the eyes. And her name is Mildred. There we go. Right, guys, I'm going to go have my dinner. I will see you on the lives tomorrow. The internet has been our friend this evening, which is really helpful. I'll see you tomorrow evening for the Labrador live and the and just like that, because I said that, the screen's going funny. I'm going to go. See you later. Bye.